Hello, welcome in. I apologize for the delay. That I was having technology issues, but I think we're good now. Welcome in. I'm Tammy Mastroberti, best-selling author of The Universe is Talking to You and my newest book, The Higher Help Method, which is linked below on YouTube and Facebook and also in my bio on Instagram. So I am here today. I focus on really, if you're new to me, teaching people how to tap into what I call the divine higher helpline of the universe. And so today I want to talk a little bit about using surrender and trust for yes, I'm here. I apologize. My technology was wonky. I was trying to sync my AirPods and I don't even know, but we're good now. I want to talk a little bit about that when it comes to manifestation and why surrender is such an important piece of the higher help method of manifestation, and also one that I think so many people struggle with. So many people struggle with because I get the question all the time, Tammy, how can I want something and desire something and then let it go? Seems counterintuitive, right? It doesn't make sense. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and sort of explain to you how it works. And the reason I want to talk about it today is twofold. Number one, the past couple of days I was doing what I call hot seats with my membership community, the Higher Helpline membership community. I'm going to be doing them twice a year where I actually do mini sessions with 5 people each night. And a lot of what came up in terms of readings, because part of my sessions, with which also, by the way, are linked below and in my Instagram bio, but I opened up a limited number of sessions, one-on-one sessions, where I help you find your blocks. I tell you exactly what they are and exactly how to clear them, and we do a mini oracle card reading. And so I opened up sessions for June and July. And if you use the code 25 off, so 25 off, 25OFF, you get 25% off of those sessions. But anyway, so I was doing some of these mini I call them hot seats in my membership community. And a theme that really came up, and I only did 10 people, 5 people each day, or 5 people each night. And a theme that kept coming up is sitting back and receiving, allowing, going into that receptive state. I can't tell you, at least 3 to 4 people, I think it was 4 people, got the breathe card, which is all about in their mini readings, and they were all asking about different subjects. We had people that were asking about relationships, there was people that were asking about money and abundance, people that were asking about mindset, all different things. But that breathe card kept coming up, and that breathe card is talking about slowing down, taking a minute, taking a step back, bringing yourself back to center, letting go, right? And allowing things to happen. And that is really what the surrender piece is. And so not only did I say, okay, I want to talk about this, but I had this idea, let me grab my actual book, which of course I have, The Higher Help Method. And I'm like, I'm going to randomly open to a page and just see, like, what should I talk about? I literally opened up, I'm never going to be able to find it now, but I opened up to the page that says, I'm never going to be able to find it now. It was like a random thing, but on top of that page, do you know what it said? Surrender and trust. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm on the right track. This is what I need to talk to everybody about. So here's what I want you to know about this and why it's so important with manifestation. When we are trying to create positive change in our life, when we are trying to manifest something that we desire, and it's not here yet, right? It hasn't instantaneously come through. Not that that doesn't happen, that totally happens sometimes. But when we're in that state where maybe we haven't created it instantaneously and we haven't manifested it quickly, we start to get frustrated. We start to question it. Are we doing it? Am I ever going to get there? What am I doing wrong? why is this not working? You start worrying about the fact that these changes are not coming. Do you know what that does? That completely sucks your energy down into the toilet. Okay. It completely shifts your energy in the wrong way because now you are focused on what is missing. Now you are focused on negative emotions of I don't have it yet, I'm frustrated, etc. You don't want to go there. You never want to go there, right? You want to, that's why with the higher help method, we're using this 4-step method to partner with the universe, to ask it to assist us, and to allow it to lead us. That means all that stress and pressure that's on your shoulders can be taken off. Another reading that I did actually last night with one of the members, I got the co-create card. And it was literally saying to her, like, stop trying to do this by yourself, right? The higher help method, stop trying to manifest and let the universe guide you. You don't do anything by yourself. Stop trying to do it by yourself. Take the pressure off your shoulders. That's where the surrender comes in. So there is a balance with manifestation of taking action and letting go and surrendering, and taking action and letting go and surrendering. You need both pieces in order to move forward. You need to take action on the things that come to you, on the breadcrumbs that the universe drops, because that's how it's going to move you to the next step. That's how you're going to actually start making progress forward, right? So we do need to take action. But after we take that action, it's about going back to allowing. It's about going back to allowing, waiting for the next thing to come, waiting for the next idea to pop in our minds, waiting for the next opportunity, waiting for the next conversation that we might overhear, waiting for the direction. That's where the surrendering piece comes in. That is how you release resistance. Because when you are focused on the fact that it's not here yet, when you are focused on the fact that maybe you're doing it wrong, maybe you're not meant to have it, oh my gosh, it's never going to happen, you're creating resistance and you're so in your head about stuff that you're not going to see a sign pointing you forward, right? So that is how you release resistance and you stop actually putting up roadblocks to your own positive movement forward. That balance of action and surrendering and allowing, and action and surrendering and allowing. There is a book, if you struggle with surrender, there is a book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. He is the author of the book The Untethered Soul that a lot of people had heard about, but he has a book called The Surrender Experiment. It's somewhat of a memoir where he kind of teaches you by taking you through his own life and how he just decided, I'm going to surrender to everything. And I remember listening to it years ago on audiobook. I think it was actually when I had shortly after I moved into the house that I'm in, and I remember painting and like doing things in the house while I was listening to this audiobook. It is a perfect example of surrendering and then taking action, and surrendering and then taking action, right? Even when things look crazy, even when you think I'm in trouble, he shows you that surrendering releases the resistance and allows the good to come through, no matter what craziness might look like around you. So here is the rule that I want you to remember when you are saying, well, how do I know if I'm surrendering, or how do I know I need to let this go? And by the way, everything that I teach when it comes to creating positive change, even when you're getting clarity on what it is you want, which is the first step of the higher help method, we have to get clarity. Once you get clarity on what you want, why you want it, and how you will feel, I always tell you, you give it over to the universe. You say, this is what I'm trying to create. Please help me to create this or something better or something more extraordinary. That's another way of letting go of that outcome. I am open. I would like this. This is exactly what I would like. But by the way, if there's something that's going to make me happier, if there's something that's more extraordinary that I can't even think of or conceive from my limited mindset in my space and in my human body, I'm open to it. I'm open to it. So now you're not so attached to exactly what you think you want that you are missing signs pointing you to something better. That's another piece of this surrender and an easy way to let go of the outcome. And I had somebody ask me, I think in the Higher Help Masterclass I was teaching for everybody that got my book. I remember I had somebody ask, well, what if, but does that mean I'm not going to get what I want? And I'm like she was afraid of that saying or something better. And I'm like, but if it's not what you want, what if it's something that's going to make you happier? Why would you reject that? Right? Why would you reject something that's going to make you happier? If it's something that is even better than what you think you want, I promise you when it comes, I don't think you're going to be like, "Oh, but I really wanted this." Even though this is like if somebody said to you, if you're saying I want to manifest $100,000 and the universe gives you an opportunity to create 1,000,000, are you going to say, "You know, I really just wanted that 100,000. This is like unnecessary." Right? No, we're not going to say that. That's what I mean by or something better. Now, having said that, that or something better puts you into that state of surrendering the outcome. How do you surrender in your everyday life when you're trying to create change and you're getting frustrated or it's not happening or there are no actions to take at this moment besides asking for help? Because asking for help is always an action. Anytime, here are the two things that I want you to remember. Anytime that you find yourself questioning, is this going to happen? Am I doing this right? Or worrying, what if this doesn't happen? Why is this taking so long? What am I doing wrong? If you are questioning or worrying things, it's time to let it go. It's time to surrender. You are blocking the progress, okay? And blocking the directions that are coming through to move you forward. If you are questioning or worrying about the outcome, about why it's not happening, about where you are in the situation, about are you doing it wrong? Did you screw something up? Whatever the things are that we say. Oh my gosh, I'm in questioning and worrying. I need to go back into surrender. That's how you know you need to surrender because questioning and worrying are getting you nowhere. Okay. So questioning and worrying, I'm going to go back to surrender. The second thing I want you to pay attention to, if you are trying to solve a problem, figure something out, if you are stressing out about what to do next, if you are in a state of stress and worry and overwhelm about what to do next or which way to go, you have to surrender it. You're never going to figure it out from that state. I shouldn't say never. I'm going to say 99% of the time, you're not going to figure it out from that state. So if you find yourself questioning or worrying, I'm not in surrender. I need to get back into surrender. I'm back. I'm turning this over. I'm waiting for the guidance. I'm turning this over. I'm waiting for the guidance. If you're using the higher help method, you're asking for the signs and synchronicities. You're asking for the help and noticing them and then taking action, right? You're asking for all of that help. Now you just have to wait for the guidance. You have to wait for it to come through. If you are stressing about what to do and you're not coming up with a solution, I have to let it go because in the letting go and in the surrendering, you shift your energy. All of a sudden, an idea comes to you. All of a sudden, you pay attention to something that you weren't paying attention to before. That's how it comes through. But if you are not in surrender, if you are not in letting go, if you are gripping on and just I'm not going to stop thinking about this until I come up with a solution, not going to happen. Not going to happen. So that's how you know, oh, I'm messing this up. I'm not in surrender. I am not in the letting go, right? Now, if you are in that surrendered state and something comes through and you hear something repeat over and over again, now you have to take action, right? So again, it's a balance of action and surrender. action and surrender. You stay in that surrendered state till the guidance comes in, you take action on it. Even if it's the wrong action, you're going to take action on it because the universe will redirect you, right? But it's really a balance of it. And anytime you find yourself in a state that is anything other than feeling good, go back to surrender. There's a whole exercise in the higher help method that I talk about surrendering your worries, where you're just handing it over to be solved. You're getting it out of your mind, out of your heart, out of your system, out of your energy field, so that you can be open to the answers coming through. Surrender is such a huge piece. And we struggle with it because most of us are control freaks. I am a control freak. Ask my husband. But I have learned and trained myself and have to remind myself from time to time that I have to let go. I have to just allow, because when I am trying to control everything, and even if that control is just me stressing out about it, I'm blocking the solutions from coming through. So stressed, questioning, worrying, overwhelmed, I'm not feeling great, I can't figure this out. Let your partner, your co-creator, the universe, your higher helpers, your guides, your angels, everybody that you're calling in, give it over to them and say, I'm awaiting your direction. I'm awaiting the idea you're going to pop into my mind. I'm going back into surrender. Everything is fine. All is well. Life is going to be fine. It will get me where I need to go. I'm reminding myself of this. And I always say, if you get stuck in that fear of the future, go back in your life. In my first book, The Universe is Talking to You, I have the follow the footsteps exercise. Go back in your life and look at the times that things have gone wrong and trace where they led you to. I promise they led you to somewhere better. And when you can start seeing that in your own life, it's easier to do this surrendering. It's easier to say, nope, the universe knows better than me because it's guided me this far. So I'm putting this down and letting my higher helpers pick it up and figure it out. The other thing I wanted to tell you, I want to give you an example, and then I'm going to go, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to pop them in to the chats. So the other thing I want to give you an example of this, of how the universe guides us, right? When we are just sort of in the state of taking action and then allowing things to come to us. So my sister recently was trying to find a new cardiologist, right? And so she had the name of a couple different people, and she went to the one guy and she liked the guy. But there was another person that someone had recommended. And she's like, I really wanted to get into him, but he doesn't have anything open until July. This is how the universe works when we're supposed to be directed and when we can balance that taking action, right? So she made an appointment with another guy that she wasn't as excited about because this other guy didn't have anything till July. So she went to the other guy, and randomly, not so randomly because the universe, nothing is random, she was talking to someone else and they mentioned, oh, my husband went to so and so. Well, that was the name of the doctor that didn't have anything open in July. And she said to me, Tammy, that's the second time I heard about this doctor. And I was like, well, I said, you called, they didn't have anything till July. They told you to call back in a little bit. You'll call back. It's fine. Then she winds up calling. They had told her to call back in like a week or something like that. So she winds up calling to book the appointment, thinking she's going to book the appointment in July. She's taking action, right? I'm going to go book this appointment in July because this is the second time I heard about this doctor. She calls back to go book the appointment in July, and the woman says to her, oh, this is so crazy. Somebody canceled. He can see you in 2 days. She was like, what? She's like, you must have called at the perfect time. Perfect time. Because somebody canceled and he can see you in 2 days. And she was like, this is amazing. So she books the appointment, right? And she's like, took the action. Oh, I see. The universe opened up this appointment for me. Took the action, booked the appointment. A few days before the appointment, she's at a barbecue or something to that effect, at a party. And she knew this woman who happened to be a nurse who worked out of the hospital that this doctor that just opened up the appointment was working with. And so she was talking to her, And she said, "Oh my gosh, I love that doctor," and proceeded to tell her a story about how he went out of his way for a patient and he was so amazing. And she's like, "You're so lucky that you even got into this guy. It's so hard to get into this guy." And she called me up and she said, "Can you believe that I am still randomly hearing about this guy?" And I said, "This is the universe directing you, number one. Number two, you took the action, right? In the meantime, she couldn't get into this guy, so she went to someone else. Okay, fine. Perfect. Go to somebody else. But now she gets an appointment with this other guy that randomly nobody can get an appointment with, right? For months. And suddenly he has an opening in 2 days. And now again, she's getting reinforcement that this is the right doctor. It's incredible how the universe works. Goes to this doctor, absolutely loves him. She's like, "That's it. I'm done. Not going to anybody else. This is the guy I'm going to stay with." And it all worked out, right? So there was the balance of, I'm going to allow myself to be shown because I don't know what, and she could have thought, I called that guy and he's not available till July, so forget him. I'm just going to go with this other guy. But she was like, "Well, I'm going to follow up. They told me to call back in a week to try and book something for July. That's what I'm going to do." And then she kept hearing about the guy and she's like, "I'm definitely going to call back and book this appointment." And then suddenly she books the appointment and it's available in 2 days. So when she actually went to the appointment, the receptionist said to her, "I am shocked because right now he's booking for September. I am shocked that you got in 2 days. That had to have been like the perfect timing that you called when someone canceled." That's how the universe works, right? There's action but see how the universe redirected her. She went to that other doctor. She liked him. He was great. Very nice. But she kept hearing about this other guy. So she followed up and she called and she booked the appointment and she wound up getting the appointment in 2 days. Then she hears again from somebody about this doctor randomly. And so that's how the universe works. That's how the universe takes control when you let go, but also take action, right? There's a balance of it. Now, if she would have thought, "No, I'm only going to go to so and so," or, "Forget him. He's not booking until July," right? But she listened to the signs that were coming through and said, "No, I'm going to pursue this doctor." That's just an example of that balance of surrender and action. That's the balance. That's the balance of it all. So that's just an example that I wanted to give you that recently sort of came up. There's so many different things in my life that I have seen once I surrender it and start calling in higher help, all of a sudden breadcrumbs start dropping. And when those breadcrumbs start dropping, you take the action and then you let go again. I'm taking this action. Let's see where it leads me. I'm just going to trust the universe. You have to have that peace. Otherwise, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to stop doing what you're doing because you think it's not working. And you're going to take yourself completely out of alignment. And we all do it, right? So just remember, I'm saying to you, there is a balance between surrender and action. We have to have both. And the easiest and fastest way to surrender is saying to the universe, "Partner with me to create this or something even more amazing." Right away, you're surrendering your attachment to it only being this way. You have to do that because there are so many times when I think back to the times that I thought, "I want this, it has to be this way. I want this relationship. I want this opportunity. I want this job," whatever it might be. And it didn't work out. But I was led to something more amazing than I could have imagined. I can't even count. That's why you have to let the universe guide you. Otherwise, if you're just guiding the ship yourself, you're going to miss out on opportunities. You are going to miss out on stuff. I promise you that. Okay, so let me go look at some of the comments now that I've been chatting. Rachel was asking, is it live on Instagram? Yes, I'm live on Instagram as well right now. So Lorraine said, if you're still worried about the situation, then you have not totally let go of it. Right. Yeah. If you're anytime worry creeps in, that's your reminder to I have to let this go. Yeah, I have to stop. Worrying, I talk about in the higher help method the difference between productive worry and destructive worry. Productive worry is when your mind goes, hey, don't forget to do X, Y, and Z, or did you do X, Y, and Z, or you have that test coming up. You should really be studying. I'm worried about that test. And then you can go and study, or you can go and make the phone call. You can go and check something, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's productive. Destructive is when you find yourself worrying about it, but there's no action you can take to rectify the situation. There's no phone call you can make. There's no research you can do. There's nothing. You are just sort of waiting, but you're worried. That's destructive worry. And that's when you have to say, okay, no, I'm just going to let this go. I have to surrender this over. I have to take my worry and hand it over so that I'm not carrying the burden anymore and distracting myself from things that could be helping me move forward, signs and things that could be helping me. Hi, Mark. The interview went very well. Anybody that's on my list, I'm going to be sending. I'll send links so you can see some of the TV interviews that I've been doing, because I've been having a blast talking about mood boosting tips and my 60-second retreats and so many different things. So yes, but it went very well. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Yes, surrender equals balance. You have to have the balance between you have to have the balance between the surrender and the action. You have to have that balance. Super important. Okay, hang on. Okay. Lorraine said that's a hard one because recently my best friend passed away and I asked and almost begged the universe for a miracle to cure her cancer. And by doing nothing and letting go, I felt like I was doing nothing. At that point, see, that's beyond your control. Her life and when she is meant to pass on, that's on her timeline. That's her destiny. That's her stuff. You can't manipulate or mess with that. There really is nothing you can do. You can pray. Praying is never doing nothing. You can certainly pray and ask for what is in her highest good. But if she was meant to pass at that time, like I remember when my mother died, and for those of you who don't know, she passed suddenly of a brain aneurysm when I was 22. And the first time I went to a medium, which was George Anderson, my sister and I went, and she must have said a million times, if I wasn't supposed to be here, I wouldn't be here. Like if you listen to the tape, she says over and over again, if I wasn't supposed to be here, meaning on the other side, I wouldn't be here. And so I truly believe that when we're supposed to go, whether it's cancer or you're getting hit by a bus that day, you're supposed to go, right? You have no control over that for yourself or for anybody else, really. So the only thing you can do is prayer, and prayer is never doing nothing. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let me see. Wendy says, I'm still looking for my purpose and nothing has come through. Is surrender involved here? Are you doing so in the high, I don't know if you're working with the higher help method, but in the book, I have the whole, I have the prayer for purpose. There's a lot of stuff under the career and purpose, chapter that gives you all the different tools. So if you are using those tools, if you are saying those prayers, if you are using all of the tools, there's rituals, there's crystals, there's so many different things. If you are doing your part to ask the universe to partner with you and show you, but nothing has come through yet, yes, you have to surrender. You have to surrender, and you have to wait until an idea comes through. Maybe all of a sudden you'll get an idea, or you'll overhear something about a job, about a hobby that you find interesting. Then you pursue and you take action and say, hey, is this something that I like? Is this something I can pursue? But in terms of, as long as you're doing your part and petitioning the universe to assist you, which speeds up the process, and you still haven't figured it out yet, It's a timing thing, it's a surrender thing. It's as long as you are doing your part, right? As long as you are acting on the hunches that come to you, the ideas that come to you, the opportunities that come to you, and as long as you are asking the universe to work with you, then it's definitely a surrender thing, because sometimes it's about the timing of the right opportunity coming through to you. And when we ask for help and the universe tries to arrange the perfect meeting or the perfect opportunity, it can take time because it involves other people, it involves other circumstances. I always say your dream job might be might have somebody else in it right now, and that person's not going to leave that job for 6 months. So you can't literally get that dream job until that person leaves, right? That's where sometimes timing comes into things. Okay, let's see. So Amy said, struggling to know how to interpret the signs and synchronicities. I have two situations where I'm receiving them, but I'm not knowing what it means. I usually can. So I don't know what it depends on what the sign is or what you're thinking. If something is coming through, like a number or an animal, like that stuff you can kind of look into to see if there's a meaning behind it. But if you are getting signs and you think you're getting signs, but you don't know how to interpret them, what I would say is ask the universe for a clearer without my friend Karen Noe, who's an amazing medium and spiritual author. She always talks about asking for a without a doubt sign. So I would say to the universe, your higher helpers, whoever you're working with, like, I'm a little confused. Can you send me a clearer or without a doubt sign so that I can fully understand what you're saying to me? That's sort of how I would do it, but it depends on the sign that you're getting, for me to be able to help you see if I can figure it out. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so Mark, you said, I'm new to Tammy's world. Tammy's world, that's funny that you capitalize that. Just buying the higher help method, and I'm wondering if sufficiently covers the material in your first book, or is it good to have that one too? It's definitely it brushes the surface. And I'm not just saying that because I want you to buy another book. I'm literally telling you it brushes the surface. So part of the higher help method, the fourth step in the higher help method is receiving the signs and then acting on them, right? And so I have a chapter on that. If you are someone that struggles with receiving signs, if you are someone that wants to open yourself up more to the communication coming through to you from the universe, the first book, The Universe is Talking to You, Tap into Signs and Synchronicity to Create Miracles Every Day, is an entire book just on that chapter, right? So it's an entire book that explains to you how the universe and your loved ones on the other side communicate. And it's a how to on how to open up to more of it. So if that's something that you struggle with, that book would be beneficial to you because it's going to give you a whole diatribe on that subject, right? If it's not something that you struggle with and you're like, oh no, I get signs all the time, I just want to figure out how to partner with the universe and create positive change, then you're good with just the first book. So it's completely up to you and where you are and what you're looking for. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. She goes, get the first one too. They both make good, simple sense. Yeah, I tend to be a very sort of practical, to the point person. So I try to break things down and make them easy and make them doable, because I know that I'm the type of person that if it's complicated or if it's time consuming, I don't necessarily know that I'm going to do it on a regular basis. So that is why everything that I create is sort of built with that in mind, because I create it so that I will do it. Yes, Mark, I definitely have it. I have a Jersey / New York accent. I remember years ago when I was working for a magazine, I went to Arizona for a retreat. It was like a technology retreat or whatever for this magazine that I was working for. And there were people there, I want to say they were from Canada, and they kept asking me to pronounce things. Like they kept saying say talk or say coffee instead of coffee. I don't know. I don't even know how the hell people say it. I say coffee. But anyway, it's so funny because they kept begging me to pronounce stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why this is so exciting to you. But I guess different accents are excited. I'm fascinated by an English accent. So, um, Pauline says, been working on something for so long, nearly 8 years now. I get frustrated when I just can't manifest. Have you tried the higher help method? Just out of curiosity. Because when you say you've been working on it, have you been working on it by yourself, or have you been working on it with the partnership of the universe? Have you been working on it with that help in mind? The other piece I have to say is if you're using the higher help method and you're still struggling with certain aspects of things, there could be blocks and limiting beliefs that you need to look at. And I do touch on that in the higher help method as well. And that's what my one on one sessions are for. I tell you, pick the area of your life you're stuck in, and I will intuitively go in and pull out what are the beliefs that are stopping you? What are the blocks? What are the things you're saying to yourself? And how can we clear them quickly so that you can move forward faster? So that's another area. I mean, I could write a whole book just on that. But that's why I do the one on one sessions. I do that to sort of help pull out some of these blocks because I am constantly finding my own blocks and clearing them in order to continue to move forward. So that's another piece outside of the higher help method. But the higher help method will really jumpstart things if you have been doing it by yourself, if that makes sense. Oh, you said you ask for help, but you don't always surrender. Yeah. So if you're not surrendering, if you're like, oh my God, it's been 8 years and now you're focused on why is it not here yet? Or why maybe. And here's the other thing. If you're so focused on that you don't have it yet, you may have missed progress toward it too. In that surrender, sometimes you see progress. Now, have you made it to the finish line? No, not necessarily. You're not exactly where you want to be yet, but maybe you're ignoring some progress that you would see if there was more surrender, right? Oh, you said you definitely have some blocks from, yeah, 100% from another relationship. There's anybody that's struggling, and this was true for me too, because I did not have a relation. I didn't meet my husband until I was 37, 38, because I wasn't even looking. That's how done I was with relationships. And there was a lot of work that I needed to do on myself and clearing that I needed to do for myself that I know helped me finally bring him in. I know it. There's not a doubt in my mind. And so yeah, and I've worked with a lot of people who will come to me with relationship issues, and then I find like they have blocks from childhood, or there's blocks that we or beliefs that we have that are sort of keeping you stuck in a cycle of something. It's true for all of us, and I'm constantly working on it for myself. And then I do work with people one-on-one to help them sort of get through that. And what I love about the work that I do and the work that I've learned over the years, especially through a fellow author and friend, Amy B. Scher, who talks all about energetic clearing and healing the body, but as well as other areas of your life. You don't have to spend 12 years in therapy to clear these things, right? They can be cleared quicker than you think, within minutes sometimes, depending on the technique that you're using. And so that's why I kind of help people find those blocks. And then I say, okay, here's exactly how I want you to go and clear them. And then you can go and clear them over the next couple of weeks, whatever it is that I give you. And then all of a sudden you start thinking differently. You start feeling differently. You start getting opportunities you weren't getting before. And it's because we've shifted that subconscious mind. So that's another piece to remember, when you are trying to create something, or especially when you find yourself in a cycle of attracting similar people or attracting similar jobs or similar circumstances. There's something in there that needs to be sussed out and cleared so that you can break those cycles. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, I believe I have it linked below. I have some sessions open. I have a couple open still in June and then July. And I only do them on Mondays. So there's kind of like a handful that are open, and then I'll probably open them again in the fall at some point, just because they take a lot of time. And I have a million other things going on. I couldn't open anything the beginning of the year because between the summit and my book launching, I just didn't even have a brain to work with people. So that link is below. And remember, if you do book it, please use the coupon 25 off, 25 OFF. So you get 25% off. And there's 2 types of sessions to choose from. So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover here today. I thank you all for being here with me, and for hanging out and for listening to me and for dealing with my technical problems where I was later than I normally am. I'm usually a couple minutes late, but I'm never that late. So thank you for that. I hope you have an amazing and wonderful weekend. I hope you are using the higher help method to assist you and to learn that balance of surrender and action. And the higher help method makes it so much easier. I give you all the tools you even need for surrender in that book. I give you everything that you possibly could need within the pages of that book that you can go back to again and again. And it's just, I so put my heart into it. And I'm just so excited that people have it and are using it now. I've been waiting forever for it to come out. So I hope that you enjoy something this weekend. You do something that brings you joy. Why? Because joy puts you into surrender. Joy takes you out of your head and out of the drama and out of the stress, right? It takes you out of it and it raises your vibration. So please do something this weekend just for you. I know we do a million things for a million other people. Do something this weekend just for you that brings you joy, that makes you happy, that makes you feel good, because not only do you deserve it, but your vibration deserves it and you deserve that lift. So do something, and I will be back here again next Thursday at noon Eastern time. And until then, have an amazing rest of your week. Join me back here again. Like the video on your way out. I always forget to say that because it does help the whole algorithm and all of that, that I always tend to forget about. So if you like me and what I'm saying, please hit like on the video. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all back here in about a week. Bye, everyone.